Hello everybody and welcome back to World of Tanks, and welcome today to a double helping of gameplay. And today we're going to be playing in the Kpz 50t or the Kpz 50t depending on where you're from. I mean, I should call it Z because I always say Z, but apparently when it comes to Kpz I call it Kpz. Same with the VZ or VZ. I'm not going to get into English lessons now. Anyway, Kpz 50t. I now can't say it without thinking, oh my god, I'm saying it wrong. We are on Fjords. It is a tier 10, tier 9, tier 8 game. And right at the start of the game, I've decided I want to rush to the middle of the map. Now, Fjords isn't one of my favourite maps. I'm just going to pause the game quickly just before we get into the action. Fjords isn't one of my favourite maps in the game. I find it very... You've got to be in the right tank. Like, heavy tanks are alright because you can fight down south. Medium tanks are okay, although I don't particularly like the north engagement from this side of the map because you literally can get to here and then it's really tricky to push down because the amount of tank destroyers that sit here. Same with from the west side of the map. If you push through with the heavies, you've then got all the TDs and TDs. I just don't particularly like the map that much. The middle is quite a fun fight, but like it's so risky pushing into the middle at the start. Like all it takes is one or two enemy tanks to not appreciate where you're pushing, and you're kind of in the shit, to be honest. But anyway, Fjords, push the middle of the map, because I was kind of like, can't be asked. The KPZ is quite a quick tank, so we push through. Standard B, and oh, there's that max RNG coming in quite nicely again. So what is the KPZ all about? I have done a tank review on this tank before, because I had these two games, and I was like, oh, I can do a tank review on the KPZ. And looked and went, oh, I've already done one. So this is just going to be a double helping of gameplay, two really good games. I'm pretty sure both of them were ace tankers, which is quite nice. So, yeah, I thought, screw it, why not? Standard B starts pushing up. Pretty sure we hit him blind, I think. I can't actually remember if we did hit him blind or whether we hit the ground in front of us or whether that was somebody else. KPZ's just such a nice all-round tank. The way you can pick this thing up, it is a tier 9 reward tank. The way you can pick it up is through ranked battles. I'm pretty sure it's available in the ranked bond store. You can get discount on it. I would recommend this tank. It is a really good, fun tank, to be honest. Like, it's practically, best way I can put it, it's kind of a bit like a 55A. But I would say it's a bit faster, but a bit less well armored. Although not. At the same time, not really. The turret is slightly weaker. You can be penned through the turret, especially when people load the gold and go through it. The front of the turret is relatively flat. It does, however, look like it's been sat on. The turret is not a regular shape, and it really annoys me. You've got this anti-aircraft turret at the back, but it's a weird turret. It's a weird turret. Anyway, we've loaded some heat. We're trying to shoot the C-75 who's trying to push up. I'm trying to protect my 430U friend who is sat below me. It's very important when you're pushed into the middle of the map on Fjords that you do try to save teammates if they're below you. You want to try and keep them alive because you want to like make sure that you're able to survive. If you get rushed, that's when you kind of in the shit on this map. The gun on this tank is really, really nice. It's a 105mm gun. It only does 320 alpha. It's not like a lot of the 105s that do 390, so it's kind of more like the Russian 100mm with a 320 alpha. APCR and heat. The APCR, really lovely. 268 pen and 1478 meters per second shell velocity, which is really, really nice on the APCR. On the heat rounds as well, 310 pen, so not the full-blooded 330, but still really nice. And what is really nice about the heat shells is it's still nearly 1200 meters per second shell velocity, which usually heat shells are quite a lot slower, but these heat shells are actually really, really fast, like as quick as APCR on some tanks, which is nice for shooting tanks at range. It's kind of, a lot of the times it's just point and click. You don't really have to worry too much about giving lead. With the heat, still a little bit occasionally, depending on how far away they are, but not a huge amount. And all we're doing at this point of the game is we're just controlling the middle of the map. I do take a hit from the Panther 2 there. I take a hit from the T-44. But I was trying, again, to keep my 430U alive, trying to keep him a bit safe. We are getting a bit of spotting as well on the T-44, which is nice. And there is a Borsig. The T-54 from right at the start of the game is somehow still alive There. I'm pretty sure he lost like over 1,000 HP right at the start of the game. And we've got a Leo 1. So I now need to start focusing on being able to actually like protect myself. We put one shot into the Borsig for 277 with APCR. We then load the HE. I take a shell from the 113, hit the Borsig and return with HE. So it wasn't an awful trade. Definitely not a good trade. Wouldn't recommend taking it. But not an awful trade. The HE is kind of similar to the Heat. Still got really nice shell velocity. It's not a great HE though. That's why I only take 2 rounds. Only 53mm a pen. It's not like one of the high penetration HE rounds that are in the game. Which is kind of annoying. You see here, I'm trying to blind fire the Egg Panther 2. The Egg Panther 2 then gets spotted. Obviously, definitely didn't hit him blind. Moving up. Again, really, this tank's got good accuracy, really nice aim time as well. It's just a really nice overall tank. I do have to be careful here because I am a one-shot. Finish off the kill on the T-44. The Egg Panther 2 then backs off. I really didn't want to take that shot there. Like, I was making sure that I only exposed the turret, so if he did manage to hit me, it had the highest chance of bouncing. But I was nervous because if the Egg Panther 2 fired APCR and hit me, like, in the right place, like, right on the flat parts of my turret cheeks, he possibly could have penned me. We've now got 60 TP. Big shout out to this 60 TP. Is actually one of my Twitch viewers. I think it's Desp. Apologies, I couldn't keep you alive there. But yeah, come down. 263, 113, starting to come under pressure from my team. This game, it wasn't a particularly close game considering how much damage I've done. And I've pretty much been firing the whole of this game. And oh god, there's a leopard rushing me. Surely this is the end. Put one in and then move my tank, like traverse my tank as quick as I can. Try and bait the leopard into the shell, into my tracks, and it actually worked. Do the same again, bait him into my tracks. The way you do that is you go to show an angle. So either your front or the side, so they aim at your front or your side. And then at the last second, when you've got to roughly know when their reload is, you turn as quick as you can to really exacerbate that angle. And what happens a lot of the time is that people end up shooting the part that they're aimed and don't switch their aim to the front of your tank. It only happens sometimes. It's kind of like a roll of the dice. Obviously, it depends on how good the player is as well. But sometimes you get away with it, and I got away with it there twice. It's kind of like rolling. I think I said it on stream. I said it's kind of like rolling 2 6s in a row on a dice. It's going to work sometimes. It's not going to work all the time, but that just there, I got lucky, and it allowed me to put an extra one shell in. An extra 2 shells into the Leo, the 301, and then the kill shot, and then as well as that, the one shot into the object 263. So that was 7,500 damage that we saw, 1,217 assisted. So overall, nearly a 9,000 combined game. So really, really, really nice game. I will come on to the post-game stats at the very end of the video. Like I say, there's going to be 2 games. But yeah, this really, really nice game of the Kpz. This isn't a play that I make that often, right up into the middle of the map. And when I do make the play, it doesn't always go that well. I did get quite lucky with like a lot of people pushing up north and me being able to put 2 or 3 shots into them. Like I said, this tank does have really nice DPM and stuff. I am actually at the minute playing this tank quite a lot because over on my Twitch channel, someone has asked me to 3-mark it. I've got a channel point reward on my channel that's called 3-mark attempt. And basically, it means that I have to play 100 games in the tank. That's not a really good thumbnail. I was going to take a thumbnail picture, but the shadows are really weird. I have to play 100 games in the tank and try to 3-mark it. I'm not going to 3-mark the Kpz. The requirements on this thing are kind of ridiculous, to be honest. Like nearly 5,000, which is a lot higher than a lot of tier 10. So I'm probably going to struggle. However, if I keep playing like this, we definitely will. Anyway, I'm going to stop waffling. Let's jump over into the second game. So here we go, guys. Second game in, and this time we've pretty much got the worst matchup we can possibly get. Tier 10s, tier 9s, 1 arty, which isn't too bad. Obviously, the worst matchup would be 3 arty. But this is one of the worst matchups you can get. The last game was kind of an average matchup. Obviously, you can get this thing against tier 7s, and when you do, it is insane. But yeah, this is pretty much as bad as it's going to get. And even in these kind of matchups, I don't feel that out of place. The DPM's nice. The armor can still hold its own. The armor's kind of one of those armor schemes where it's kind of like all or nothing. It's the majority of tanks in the game are going to bounce off certain parts of your tank, and the bits that they can pen everyone you can meet pretty much can pen them. So it doesn't really matter. There's no real like thresholds where it's like, oh well, most tier 10s can pen this, but tier 9s can't, tier 8s can't, etc. It's kind of, yes, they're going to pen it, or no, they're not going to pen it. Anyway, we're on Muravanka. I've come across to the forest side of the map. The forest side of the map, back in the day, before this map was changed, I used to hate the forest. I never, ever, 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 ever used to come to the forest. And now I seem to always come to the forest because I hate the 1-2 line. I just hate how static it seems to go. It's just, yeah, I just don't like it. But yeah, Object 430 made a terrible, terrible, terrible play. Down into, onto the 0 line, and we do manage to finish him off. Bad Chat makes a play, tries to run away. We get a shot into him as he runs away. And the Leopard PTA makes a play that gets him killed because he's too cheap to use a repair kit. Or maybe he's already used it, I don't really know, but if he didn't have a repair kit, that was stupid of him. There's an S-Conk pushing up on this IS-7, I know that. So I'm going to come in and support, try and get as much damage in as I can. I do actually mess one of these shots up here. I don't really know what happened. I don't know if I had a little bit of lag or if it was just poor aim. But, like, kind of shot the bad part of the back of the IS-7. IS-7's turning to try and shoot me. I was like, dude, chill out. But, again, goddamn. Keeps going crazy. T124 spotted. I do need to be really careful of the T124. He can most certainly, if he's firing APCR, my turret is pretty much just an auto pen for him. Doesn't matter where. Accuracy on this tank, as I've said before, pretty good, but those two shots kind of let me down a bit. So this next shot is going to be my last APCR. We do manage to pen the IS-4's lower plate, and then we're going to load some heat. I'm fairly liberal with the heat in this thing. Like, I don't hold back. If I need to fire heat, I'm going to fire heat. Especially at the minute with the Christmas event and stuff. It's not like I really need to save credits. Nice shot there. Kind of got a bit lucky with that RNG of where it went. But we got quite lucky there with the shell going straight into the side turret of the IS-4. Put another one into the T10 as he angles. I'm trying to use the S-Conk here because obviously the S-Conks hold down. I'm trying to use his armor to get the T10, the IS-4, the E4 and stuff, to try and shoot the Super Conk, and then I go forwards and get a shot in. And that's kind of, sometimes it is a bit selfish, but that's the way you've got to play medium tanks. It was kind of annoying there sometimes, though. The S-Conk kind of was crashing into my tank, like rubbing up against my tank, and it was like the shot on the Cupola. I probably could have done a bit better if he wasn't moving forwards and backwards, and that is sometimes quite a dangerous play to make as well, because you do sometimes, like, you'll pre-aim, when you're in a peeking fight with like one of your allies next to you, if you're trying to poke out because they're kind of in your way and they're trying to get a shot, and then if they fire and fall back all of a sudden, it very much you can be left out with yourself hanging in the breeze, and it's just like, yeah, you're gonna take the shots. You have got to be careful in those engagements. But fortunately, we came out of that pretty well, and we've come out of the forest pretty well. To be fair, 4,400 damage, really nice. We're pushing in on this IS-4, which is nice. Don't even need to load heat, because the APCR on this thing, like I said, 268mm standard pen, is very, very nice indeed. Bad Chat, try and fire on the move. I need to make sure I move across this open ground, try and get into the lower ground over here and into the hole down, because as you're about to see, I took one from the pattern, we took an APCR round from the G-Saw, but now we're in a nice hold down position, and there's a T-5401. Not firing gold here, just aiming with APCR at like his turret cheeks. Nice and easy to pen a T-54E1 in those kind of places. It's the same as the T-57 Heavy. M48 pattern across the far side of the map. Absolutely no idea where the hell that shell went. Feels kind of harsh that it didn't hit me. He hits me whilst reversing on the move from 500 meters. I mean, granted, it is a pattern. I pretty much spurted for 4 years about how the M48 pattern's gun handling is insane on the move. A couple of years, well, I say a couple of years back, it's probably like 7 years ago now. So yeah, I'm not too upset by that. And the T-54E1 has moved and I think is shooting the mouse. But nonetheless, I'm like, oh, if you're making a mistake, T-54E1, I'm not going to complain. Put one into him. And again, this is where the really, really nice DPM of this tank comes into play. Absolutely lovely. I think if I had Adrenaline Rush, it would actually be active right now, because I'm on less than 10% HP. Get the kill shot on the 54E1. Somebody puts one into Artie. Get the kill shot on Artie. I wasn't trying to hold my shell for Artie there. It was literally just a case of I fired when I was loaded. Got my last APCR round in the chamber, and then I'm pretty sure I select HE for my next shell because I want to try to kill the 4005. I don't know how much HP the 4000's got left at this point. If I hold Alt, he's still on full HP, but that's because he has been out of my render all game. There is a tank right in front of me. Is it going to be the FE? No, G-Saw. Again, on the move. Unfortunate for the low roll. It was literally a 50-50 to whether I killed him. I was going to go for the ram, but the mouse picked him up. And then FE 4005. Go over the ridge. Kind of half aim the shell. And slap an HE round right into the side of his tank. Absolutely lovely. 344 damage to pick up my top gun. And that game was 7,300 damage and 2,300 assisted. So pretty much, well, it was a 9.5k combined game. These two games, one after the other. But I'm pretty sure they were within the same play session. Or if not, they were only a day apart. So, yeah, really not too shabby. And the Kpz is... It's one of those tanks that I can't believe I haven't played it for so long. It's kind of like, I wish I played it more. And this is why I love the 3-mark attempt on my stream. And like the random tank picks and the tank picks on my stream. Because it makes me play tanks that I haven't played in a very long time. So it's really, really nice sometimes. And this is one of those that I believe it was Midget Mike was the one who spent 75,000 shadow points to basically get me to play 100 games in this thing. And I'm glad he picked this because it is a nice tank for me to play. He was saying, I wanted to pick a tank that was good fun and like it's a decent tank to play because obviously 100 games worth in a shit tank isn't going to make for good content unless I'm raging at it and you guys are into that or whatever. But anyway, really, really nice game again in the Kpz. Absolutely lovely tank. I will, if I remember, leave the link to my tank review of the vehicle in the description. However, it is quite an old tank review, so I did think about doing like an updated one using these replays, but nah, I'll leave it in place as of now. And yeah, just take this as kind of a like half mini review. But it is an absolutely awesome tank. If you can pick one of these things up, definitely do. However, I would definitely recommend that you get the Concept 1B first, because I would say that thing is not necessarily better. Well, yeah, I would say better. It's just completely fucking broken tank, the Concept 1B. So get that thing first, and then this thing is definitely a viable second option. Really, really nice tank. Obviously, I'm not sure how the 114 SP2 is going to be, which is the ranked reward for this year's season. But anyway, let's go take a look at both games' sets of post-game stats. So, there we go, guys. First game on, what was it? Fjord's Ace Tanker. We did hit one shot blind, so we ended up doing 7,886 damage. Very nice game. Along with 1,200 assisted, so 9k combined. Very, very nice. 3 kills as well. We did got a load of initial spots on tanks, and we did block quite a lot with our armor. 2,290, but most of that was because it was at long range and we were playing hull down. High caliber, steel wool, which is always nice, and Confederate as well. And like I said, that was enough for an ace tanker. 1,683 base XP, very nice. 7,886 damage and 3 kills. Like I said, shout out to this 60TP. I think his Twitch name is Desp, I want to say. From my Twitch chat, so shout out to you. 36 shots fired, 29 hit, and 26 penned. Made a load of credits. This tank doesn't make like premium credits or anything like that. The only reason I made as many credits as I did is because this is over the Christmas event. I also had personal reserves on and possibly battle payments. I honestly don't know, but there you go. The game lasted 6 minutes and 20 seconds, and we were pretty much firing for that whole 6 minutes. We were firing quite a lot of times, like spreading our damage out between different flanks and everything like that. Playing a nice solid middle role on Fjords. The second game, another ace tanker, 7,291 damage, 6 kills, 2,321 assists as well. A little less damage blocked, but still not too shabby. We got a Leverslios medal. Sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong for anybody who's from similar countries to wherever this person was from. Which has destroyed 2 enemy tanks that 1 tier higher. high caliber, and a top gun for getting the 6 kills. This one was a much higher base XP, 1824, one of my highest base XPs of the year, to be fair, which is very, very nice. We absolutely smashed that, considering there was a lot of tier 10s on the team as well. 33 shots fired, 33,000 shots fired. Holy shit. 30 hit and 25 pen. So again, not a bad pen ratio. The accuracy, the aim time, and the gun handling of this tank coming in quite handy, as well as the really nice pen. We did bounce those couple of shots on the E4, which I was a little bit annoyed about, but again, not the end of the world. Again, don't look at the credits really, because I had everything running because over Christmas and stuff as well. And that game lasted 6 minutes and 40, so a little bit longer. And we didn't quite do as much damage, but I think it was more damage to harder tanks. Depend obviously a lot more tier 10s, E4s, stuff like that, IS7s, etc. And yeah, that was a couple of games in the Kpz, a couple of good games in the Kpz, 2 ace tankers, which is always nice. If you have enjoyed the video, guys, please make sure you give it a like. Let me know in the comments what you think about this tank, whether you've got it, whether you would like it, everything like that. And other than that, make sure you're subscribing, notifications on, all that good stuff. And thank you very much for watching, guys, and I'll see you next time.